Welcome back to the Weekly Education Pulse. I'm Sami.
And I'm Tony. Each week we bring to you the latest updates shaping international school market worldwide.
In today's episode, we'll take you around the world with the top stories from new school openings and expansions to major investments and innovations.
And after the news, we'll have a deep dive into one of my latest articles, looking at how schools can go beyond resilience and actually thrive through disruption.
That's right, we'll be unpacking the concept of anti-fragility and what it could mean for international schools. But first, let's start with this week's news, and we begin in Thailand, where Highgate International School has announced the launch of the country's first football school in partnership with Manchester City Football Club.
And this is a big move. It combines Highgate's academic offering with Manchester City's coaching expertise, giving students access to world-class training right here in Thailand.
And the programme is not only open to Highgate students, but also to young players from across the country. It's designed to build both technical skills and personal development through sport.
And it reflects a broader trend we've seen in other international schools, integrating elite sports partnerships to attract families who value both academics and extracurricular excellence.
And for Manchester City, it's also part of their global strategy. They've been expanding football schools around the world, and Thailand is a natural fit with its strong passion for the game and also their historical links with the country.
So this partnership positions Highgate uniquely in the market, blending British education with Premier League pedigree. And from Thailand to Portugal now, where we've got a €175 million investment in a new international school.
That's a huge figure, one of the largest single investments we've seen in Portugal's private education sector in recent years.
The school will be built in the Algarve, a region already popular with expatriates and international families. It's expected to cater to students from early years through secondary.
And this reflects Portugal's continuing appeal as a destination, not only for families relocating, but also for investors who see international schooling as a stable, long-term growth sector.
That's right. Demand is coming from both international families and Portuguese parents who want bilingual and globally recognised pathways for their children.
Yeah, and with that amount of money on the table, this isn't just another new school. It's a statement about confidence in the sector and in Portugal's future as an international education hub. And from Portugal, we're going back to Thailand now, where Wells International School has celebrated its 27th anniversary with the announcement of a new campus expansion.
Wells already has a few campuses across Bangkok, serving students from early years through to high school, and this expansion shows confidence in their growth and the sustained demand for international education in the city.
Yeah, the new development is expected to enhance facilities and create more capacity for families seeking an American-style international education.
Anniversaries like this are more than symbolic. They highlight the track record of established schools in the market, which matters to parents when choosing between new entrants and those with a proven reputation.
For Wells, it's also about staying competitive. Bangkok has one of the most dynamic international school markets in Asia, and expanding capacity is a way to secure their position for the future.
So as they celebrate 27 years, Wells are also clearly planning for the next phase of their journey. And now over to Romania, where Little London High School in Bucharest has announced the opening of a new campus.
And the expansion will add significant capacity, catering to the growing demand for bilingual and international education in Romania's capital.
Romania has seen a steady rise in interest from international schools, particularly from local families who want globally recognised qualifications without having to leave the country.
Exactly. Schools like Little London are positioning themselves to meet that demand, offering pathways such as Cambridge International and the International Baccalaureate.
Expansion also reflects Romania's growing integration within Europe. With Schengen membership now secured, mobility and investment in the country are expected to increase, fueling demand for international style schooling.
So for Little London, this expansion is both timely and strategic, aligning with wider socioeconomic shifts in Romania. And from Europe, we're shifting over to Dubai now, where Repton School has unveiled plans for a brand new performing arts centre designed by architectural firm Coda.
The centre will include a 600-seat theatre, state-of-the-art rehearsal rooms, and specialist facilities for music, drama, and dance.
It's part of a wider trend of premium schools investing in performing arts and creative facilities, not just academics. And parents are increasingly see the arts as a vital part of a holistic, well-rounded education.
For Dubai, where the competition among premium schools is intense, facilities like this can make major differences. It's not just about classrooms, it's about the full student experience.
Yeah, Repton is already one of the Emirates' most established British schools, and adding a centre like this reinforces its positioning at the top end of the market.
And it shows that even in a landscape of new school openings, existing players are doubling down on investment to stay ahead. And going back to Europe, after a month of teasing us, Brighton College has finally announced plans to open new schools in Rome, Italy, Madrid, Spain, and Lisbon, Portugal.
Yeah, Brighton College is one of the UK's most prestigious independent schools, with an expanding global network that already includes campuses in the Emirates, Singapore, and Bangkok.
The Rome School is expected to offer the English national curriculum, catering to both international and local families seeking a British-style education.
Yeah, Italy has been attracting more attention from international operators recently as demand grows among families for that bilingual and also international schooling pathways.
Brighton, it strengthened their European presence, adding to their strategy of entering culturally rich, globally connected cities.
And for Rome, it means another premium option for families, further diversifying the international schools market in the Italian capital. And over to India now, where the International Baccalaureate has reported strong growth, with more schools offering the PYP, NYP, and the diploma program.
India now has hundreds of IB schools, and the number keeps rising as families seek international pathways that align with global universities.
What's particularly interesting is the alignment with India's national education policy, the NEP, and the new curriculum framework. Both emphasize skills, inquiry-based learning, and holistic development, areas where the IB is already strong.
That's a key point. Rather than just being seen as an alternative, the IB is increasingly being framed as complementary to national education reforms, which may encourage more adoption across India.
Families, it means greater choice and more schools embedding international approaches while still operating within the national education landscape.
And for India as a whole, it positions the country more firmly within the global education dialogue, with students preparing not just for Indian universities, but also for Ivy League, Oxbridge, and beyond. Now over to the UK, where Oxford University has announced it will provide access to ChatGPT Edu for all of its students and staff.
Yeah, that makes Oxford the first UK university to officially integrate OpenAI's education-focused platform campus-wide. It's a bold step in embracing generative AI as part of teaching, learning, and research.
Polish version designed specifically for academic environments with safeguards and features that support both students and the use of student use and institutional control.
For Oxford, this move is as much about experimentation as it is about access. It signals a willingness to engage with AI proactively rather than waiting for it to become a standard by default.
The implications go beyond Oxford. If other universities follow, we could see AI becoming a mainstream tool across higher education in the UK and beyond.
For students, it means access to powerful support in research, writing, and problem solving. And for staff, it raises new opportunities and new questions about assessment, originality, and the human role in education.
Either way, Oxford's decision puts AI firmly at the heart of the academic experience, setting a precedent other universities will be watching closely.
And our final news story this week takes us to the United States, where Harrow International School has officially opened its new campus on Long Island in New York.
Harrow, considered one of the UK's most prestigious independent schools, with a history dating back to 1572, this marks its first ever campus in the US.
Yeah, the Long Island School will serve students from kindergarten through to high school, offering a blend of the Harrow ethos with American educational standards.
It's a significant move. The US has traditionally been a challenging market for international school brands to enter, given the dominance of existing private schools.
Yeah, exactly. But Harrow's strategy seems clear to bring its British heritage and global network into a region with strong demand for that premium education.
Families in New York, it means access to one of the world's most recognizable school brands without needing to look overseas.
And for Harrow, it's a landmark expansion, strengthening its presence in global education and signaling its intent to compete in one of the world's most competitive education markets. And with that, that wraps up the news for this week. Plenty happening across the world of international education.
But as always, we like to take a bit of a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, and Tony, in your latest article, you've been exploring what it means for schools to move beyond resilience into something called anti-fragility.
Let's talk about what that means and why it matters for international schools today. So, resilience is about withstanding shocks and bouncing back. But I've been exploring the idea of anti-fragility from Nassim Taleb's book, Anti-Fragile. Anti-fragility is about systems that actually get stronger because of disruption, not about surviving volatility, but improving through it.
That's a fascinating shift. So, how would you describe the difference between resilience and anti-fragility when applied to schools?
Um, a resilient school is one that can recover after they've had disruption, whereas anti-fragile school uses that disruption as a catalyst for growth and strengthening their systems. For example, an enrollment drop isn't just stabilized, it's used as an opportunity to rethink a value proposition, tap into new markets, or trial new programs. Disruption becomes a fuel for innovation.
And why does this matter for so much for international schools right now?
Well, because the sector is so full of unpredictability, we've got demographic shifts, policy shifts, parental expectations, and obviously the rapid technology advances like those with AI. Schools that treat those disruptions as opportunities to innovate rather than threats to manage will be the ones that come out stronger.
In your article, you move from the SAFE model, which we spoke about before previously, to the LEAD model. Can you walk us through that?
Sure. So the lead model, 4 areas. So the L is learning loops. So every disruption is treated as feedback with lessons integrated quickly. The E is experimentation. Schools run small scale trials in curriculum, partnerships, operations. Successes are scaled. Failures are given valuable insight with limited risk. Adaptation. The A, adaptable options. Anti-fragile schools don't lock in one plan. They hold multiple pathways, alternative staffing, parallel growth scenarios so that they can pivot. And the D, decentralized decision making. Empowering leaders at all levels reduces fragility and speeds up responses when conditions shift.
So it's really a mindset shift, not just surviving disruption, but leaning into it. So can you give a practical example of how a school might apply this?
Yeah, well, let's take the rise of AI tools. A resilient school might regulate their use cautiously. An anti-fragile school would probably pilot these in different ways, experiment them within the classroom, use the lessons to enhance both teaching and operations. It's proactive, not reactive.
Of course, and that must come with challenges. So what are some of the barriers schools face when trying to become anti-fragile?
Biggest one's probably culture. School boards are often prefer predictability, and staff may be wary of constant experimentation. Leaders have to create an environment where taking calculated risks is supported and where lessons from setbacks are celebrated rather than hidden. Data and external insights also matter. They can help schools make bold decisions without losing sight of the evidence.
So for a school that wants to start on this journey, where should they begin?
Certainly start small. Introduce a low stakes experiment, maybe one for the whole year. Build optionality into planning, for example. Instead of having one growth scenario, explore 2 or 3. capture lessons from disruption and share them internally, and empower middle leaders to adapt in their areas. Those steps build the foundation for an anti-fragile culture.
Yeah, that's a powerful message. I mean, resilience is about bouncing back, but anti-fragility is about bouncing forward.
Exactly. The future belongs to schools that don't just withstand disruption, but also grow stronger because of it. And that brings us to the end of this week's Weekly Education Pulse.
Yeah, thanks for joining us as we covered the latest global school news and explored Tony's article on building anti-fragility into school strategy.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes.
And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What strategies do you see schools using, not just to survive, but to thrive through disruption? Drop a comment below.
And we'll be back next week with more stories and insights from the international schools market.
Until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.